Let's see what the USA Pickleball official rulebook for 2024 says about line calls. 6A. A served ball that clears the non-volley zone and its lines and lands in the correct service court or any correct service court line is in. Any other ball in play that lands in the court or touches any court line is in. 6B. A ball contacting the playing surface completely outside of the court is out. A served ball that lands in the opponent's non-volley zone, including on the non-volley zone lines, is out. 6C. Code of Ethics for Line Calling. Pickleball is played according to specific rules. It also requires a code of ethics for line calling responsibilities when performed by players. The line calling responsibility of players are different from those assigned to referees or line judges. The officials make impartial judgment calls with all players' interests in mind. The player, when assigned line calling duties, must strive for accuracy and operate under the principle that all questionable calls must be resolved in favor of the opponent. The basic elements are 6C1. Players are responsible for calling the lines on their end of the court, excluding short serves, service foot faults, and all non-volley zone faults, if being called by a referee. If a player makes an initial line call and then asks for either opponent or the referee's opinion, if the opponent or referee can make a clear in or out call, the clear call will stand. If no clear call can be made, the initial line call by the player will stand. A call made by the opponent can be appealed to the referee for a final in or out decision. 6C2. Players' only call is the center line on the serve in matches that have line judges. 6C3. The opponent gets the benefit of the doubt on line calls made. Any ball that cannot be called out will be considered in. A player cannot claim a replay because the ball was not seen or there is uncertainty. A player who does not make the call may appeal to the referee to make the call if they did not clearly see the ball land. If the referee is unable to make the call, the ball is in. The moment the receiving player team appeals to the referee, they lose their right to make any subsequent in or out call for that rally. Rule 6C4. Spectators should not be consulted on any line call. 6C5. A player or team may ask the opponent's opinion to make the line call on the player's end of the court. If requested and the opponent makes a clear in or out call, it must be accepted. If the opponents cannot make a clear in or out call, then the ball is ruled as being in on the receiving team. The moment the receiving player's team asks for the opponent's opinion, they lose their right to make any subsequent in or out call for that rally. The receiving team or player may also appeal to the referee to make a clear call. If the referee cannot make a clear call, the outcome of the opponent's ruling will stand. 6C6. Players shall not call a ball out unless they can clearly see a space between the line and the ball as it hits the ground. 6C7. All out calls must be made prior to the ball being hit by the opponent or before the ball becomes dead. 6C8. In doubles play, if one player calls the ball out and the partner calls it in, then doubt exists and the team's call will be in. Any player may appeal a call to the referee. If the referee did not see the ball is considered in. 6C9. Out calls must be promptly signaled by voice and or hand signals. 6C10. While the ball is in the air, if a player yells out, no, bounce it, or any other words to communicate to their partner that the ball may be out, it shall be considered player communication only and not considered a line call. 6C11. An out call made after the ball bounces is a line call. The ball is dead and the play shall stop. If, upon appeal, the referee overrules any type of out call, it is a fault against the player or team that made the out call. The exception: if the match has line judges, the baseline and sideline judges are responsible for the call. 6C12. After the completion of a rally, players may overrule a partner's line call, their own call, an officiating team's call, or an opponent's in call to their own disadvantage. Best advice is get a rule book.